Good morning and good afternoon and welcome to NJ's webinar. My name is Sien Wouwermans and I will be your host today. We have muted all the lines. If you have questions, you can ask them via the chat box and we will discuss them at the end of the session. In today's webinar, we will talk you through how businesses can empower employees and create a culture of active engagement, collaboration, and always-on access, enabling a smarter user experience. Our webinar will delve you in real-life examples of how automation and machine learning are freeing HR managers from administrative tasks, allowing them to concentrate on the strategic and human side of the HR business. For today's webinar, we have invited Amit, can you? Yeah. So thank you. For today's webinar, we have invited two subject matter experts. Our first speaker of today is Melissa Corfield. Melissa leads the go-to-market efforts for SAP Cloud Platform lines of business extensions. She has a strong passion for technology that empowers HR organizations to attract and engage top talent. She has spent nearly a decade working closely with SuccessFactors customers, helping them derive business value from their investments SAP solutions. Her focus is driving digital transformation and business value through the agility and innovation capabilities of the SAP Cloud platform. Welcome, Melissa. Melissa, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Thank you.
Thank you. Our second speaker of today is Amit Soni. Amit Soni is NJ's HR Global Director for Delivery of Digital HR Technologies. He is responsible for strategy, delivery, and talent development of large on- and offshore teams. He is driving the strategy of SAP Cloud Platform for NJA customers. He has 18 years of hands-on expertise in mobile apps, digital technologies, including machine learning, robotics, chatbots, and automation in general. Amit, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Sien. Thank you.
Oh, great. So welcome both. I would say let's kick off the webinar, Melissa. I pass the word on to you.
Great, thank you. And Amit, you can advance the slide. So good morning, everyone. As Sien said, I'm Melissa Corfield, and at SAP, I am part of the SAP Cloud Platform team focusing on extensions for our line of business applications. But I've spent nearly a decade at SuccessFactors working closely with our HR customers. So how technology empowers and helps human beings be engaged and productive is an area that is very near and dear to my heart. Amit, you can go forward. So I think these are pretty exciting times in terms of how digital transformation in HR and how technology is being leveraged to create amazing and truly delightful user experiences. I thought I'd talk a little bit about what we see here at SAP and how we're helping our customers achieve the business outcomes they're after through the SAP Cloud Platform. So HR is experiencing an evolution in the way that we use technology that's been largely influenced by the changing face of the workforce and how the expectations and experiences that come along with digital natives around how we use technology today. So, no news here. Millennials have emerged as the predominant face of the workforce and will soon represent about 75% of the people at work. And they come into the workplace with expectation around technology that is consistent with the way that they use it in their day-to-day lives. So they expect to have experiences that are consistent with how they interact with technology home. For example, using things like Alexa for making their doctor's appointments or whatever the case may be. And they don't want to step back in time 10 years just because they happen to be at work. So organizations are recognizing that offering excellent employee experiences is really critical in their ability to attract and retain top talent, and yet very few of them really feel like they're good at doing that. So emerging technology, and in particular platforms that allow for agility and innovation in HR software, can really offer HR leaders the ability to meet and exceed the demands of their enterprise and deliver the kind of experiences that their employees are after. Amit, you can go one forward. So the analysts who are focused on the HRIT space are seeing this shift and telling us that new technologies are not only available, but in fact necessary for helping HR move into the future. to keep up with the pace of change, but also to provide the experiences that will engage their employees and differentiate them as employers. So when I speak to our customers, I hear time and again that they're very focused on really three key themes or areas. So employee engagement is on the top of everyone's mind and is seen as a really important strategy for attracting and retaining talent. The CHRO has essentially assumed responsibility for the end-to-end employee experience and organizational culture, and with that comes a critical shift away from HR technology for the sake of HR to a much more employee and user-focused experience. Secondly, very continuing focus, continuing a focus on simplicity and productivity. So the adoption of SaaS solutions over recent years has seen the standardization of business processes, and with that, tremendous gains in terms of the streamlining of the way we work. And now we're seeing a rise of a new generation of technology that allows us to further simplify the way that we interact with systems through things like machine learning, artificial intelligence, and bots. So, for example, the use of AI in the recruiting space has received so much attention because it can really simplify that whole process, make it smarter and far more objective than in the past. So while humans will always ultimately make the final hiring decisions, AI can help us be more efficient, better informed, and remove unintentional bias. And then finally, data. So of course, data is always at the center of everything we do. Again, new technologies are providing more access to broader sets of data than ever before, which is taking business intelligence to new levels. Because of this, employees that work with large volumes of data, for example, have recognized the value of machine learning. They're looking to leverage insights from this data, often in real time, and organizations are able to work much more efficiently and can really gain an advantage over competitors. So at SAP, one of the ways that we make these technologies available is through the SAP Cloud Platform, which is our platform as a service. It allows our customers to be agile, so allowing them to extend their success factors or really any SAP Cloud or on-prem solution through prepackaged partner apps or by building their own extensions. The reach of our partner ecosystem and our ever-growing App Center are indicative of how our customers and partners are really leveraging this. It allows our customers to be fully optimized. So one system, or one organization rather, can not run on one system. We run on a web of interconnected systems that need to be connected seamlessly across all devices, empowering employees at all times wherever they are. And then finally, to truly embrace digital transformation, to innovate and deploy new apps rapidly, to boldly go where they haven't been able to go to before in order to solve new problems, engage customers, employees in new ways, and truly transform their business. You can go one forward, Meet. Thank you. So the SAP Cloud Platform is essentially a very broad offering of infrastructure and application services that allow our customers and partners to be innovators. In other words, we provide the capabilities to rapidly develop with services such as machine learning, UI, mobile services analytics, and so on, as well as provide the infrastructure, the data centers to run on, which makes this a really truly scalable and secure solution. And that's unique in the enterprise application market space. One more, Amit, please. So in summary, technology, HR technology is evolving very quickly, as we've seen. We've seen our customers evolve from HR automation, where they are just looking to move from paper into using SaaS solutions much more strategically in order to standardize processes. And now they're accelerating that evolution by looking to new tools that are able to expand their capabilities through bots, AI, machine learning, IoT, for example, which is, of course, now at the heart of SAP Leonardo, which you may have heard of. It's our digital innovation system that runs on SAP Cloud Platform. So we're still in the early days in terms of using these technologies in HR, but they certainly present a very interesting and very compelling new set of possibilities. And we're thrilled to have partners such as NGA HR at the forefront as a true innovator in this pretty exciting new space. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Emmett to walk us through the great stuff he and his team are doing. Emmett, over to you.
Thanks, Melissa. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for great thoughts. And good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on what locations you are dialing in from. And thanks for your time and attendance. So let me jump to the deck, which I want to share with you. It's less of decks, but more of demo. So let me just quickly glance through some of the thoughts we have. So we see chatbots working hand in hand with humans. Yeah, it's not to replace humans; it's to work in hand with them, and it's to help us work better and focus on strategic stuff instead of doing mundane administration tasks. We see that chatbots can help us to do the repetitive tasks, and we'll see demos of this very soon, how they can be really useful. Technologies will always disrupt business. This is not new. 60s, we were working on emails, and then when I joined SAP in 1998, it was all about client-server architecture. Then came the e-business with the portals, with the middleware, with the PI, and things like that. And then came this digital marketing with Facebook and Twitters. And last 3 years, we hear a lot about digital business, about digital strategy, digital landscape. And from last year, or I would say this year, we talk more about this robotics, machine learning, algorithmic business. So disruption will always happen. It will not stop. But if you see what's happening in a nutshell is the business, the people, and the things like cars, your mobile devices, they're all coming together to create a new business processes, to disrupt the business. And if we see in retrospect, this was all very, very good. This was really useful. What are the trends we are seeing in the HR world? We see HR as an experience, not about just simple payroll application or an ESS application. It's about experience. It's about simplification of HR processes. It's about hyper personalization. We see a need for culture of active engagement, continuous feedback, continuous learning, collaboration. And this talk about Work 4.0, which is driven by the IoT industry and also by the Generation Z and natives. So these are all forcing us to disrupt HR to work in a different way. We see there are 5 different groups of people, right from who are born before 1946 to the people who are born in 1997, Generation Z, for example. And we see they have a different behavior. They would like to work with the systems in a different way. For traditionalist baby boomers, they used to talk to people. They would love to go to HR department and talk to them. Generation X, Y, people like me prefer self-service on email, and the Generation Z and the millennials, they are looking for more for chatting applications. So it's a challenge how to bring all this employee together, and we see chatbot as an enabler for making this all workforce work together. So AI is the new UI. That's the kind of new trend we are seeing in the market now. Last year, it was all about mobile first, and now we talk about AI first. And we'll stress on the fact that it should be humanized and conversational. Otherwise, people will not use it. We also see the input mechanism was just text before. Now you can see you also use voice. For example, you use Alexa and Siri as a voice as input. And there's a big surge in messaging applications. For example, WhatsApp has 4 billion users. So half of the world is using WhatsApp, which is a texting app. And 6 of the best 10 apps are messaging apps. So what you see here is messaging apps are very, very easy to use, and there's a big adoption there. And we want to leverage that in the HR world. Of course, there's a world of like Siri and Cortana with voice also enabled there. For Extend HR, we have apps available on SAP Cloud Platform. Just a brief about some of the apps. So we have apps for automation, which can help you for data integration, which can help you in hiring, which can help you to synchronize IDs in different environments. We have apps for employee engagement to help employees create tickets easily, to see their workflows, to manage their rewards together, to see learning courses, to experience learning, to enter timesheets easily. And the last one is the one I will show you today is about the bot, which will help employees to engage better with the system. We're also working closely with big customers, big banks with co-innovation. So they have ideas and we are working with them on their ideas to create new apps. Yeah. So this is also a good idea where we can work closely with you, with your ideas on the apps you would like to see to disrupt your market. Now coming to the humanized chatbot, what is a chatbot? So if you see, chatbot is chat robot, which can chat with you. And the humanized is important there, which means if the chatbot can make a human feel that the human is talking on the other side, it's humanized. When people feel that they're talking to human on the other side, it's humanized. And that's what we want to focus on. What's the purpose of the chatbot? So this is to allow conversation with the system, to do simple transactions, to enable them to access simple informations, to get alerts and for important events, to access simple KPIs, to see company FAQs, and help them to navigate to HR processes. That's the purpose of the chatbot. In terms of features, it's powered by humanized AI. It's mobile enabled, which means you can run this from your mobile devices. It's voice enabled, which means you can also work with the chatbot using your Alexa, Siri, and whatever voice mechanism you prefer. It's internal and external facing. Internal means it is available to your internal workforce, and external means you can make it available to candidates who would like to apply for a job, for example. I'll show a demo of this very soon. It works on top of different HR systems, so it doesn't matter if you have, for example, SuccessFactors, or you are using SAP on-prem, or you're using any HR system for that matter. This chatbots can work on any different HR systems. And the most important thing is it will respect the configured HR security. So what you have configured on your on-prem systems, SAP HR security, for example, or what you have configured in Employee Central, for example, role-based permissioning, it will respect the security which is configured in the core HR systems. So you don't need to develop the security again for the chatbots. In terms of benefits, it's 24/7 help. So employees can access this anytime, anywhere. It saves time for employees, for managers, HR admins, and agents. Yeah, and time is money. We don't need to train people. We don't need to train the new employees or the less frequent users. It's really powerful for enabling change management. A lot of movement is going on to move your landscape from on-prem to in cloud. So it leads to lots of change management, and it's very easy to enable change management with this chatbots because it can help the workforce to the right places, to navigate to the right processes. The key thing is it simplify works because it's voice enabled, because it's text enabled, and because it is AI enabled, which is powered by NLP. It is very easy for employees to engage with the systems. So it clicks with your workforce. And the key part is it's lower TCO. So it's running in the cloud as a cloud application. It is bought as a service, so you don't need to worry about buying new hardware or software to run these applications. Just a brief about how this is deployed. So on the left, you see the users, different kind of users. Sorry. It can be HR admins, employees, C-level users, managers. They can access this chatbot using multiple channels. So of course, they can use our chatbot, when I show it today. They can also use this from different mediums like Facebook Messenger, for example, or Slack, or Siri, or Alexa. There are multiple ways they can access this chatbot functionality. As I mentioned, it's a cloud application. It's running in the cloud, running on SAP Cloud Platform, and it's leveraging machine learning from SAP Leonardo, and also it can leverage machine learning technologies from Microsoft and Google. You can run this application on your own cloud platform instance, or you can run on NGA's cloud platform instance. It can connect with any cloud solution, of course with SF Cloud, and also with SAP on-prem HR Cloud, SAP on-prem systems. So this is the deployment model. It's running on the cloud, running on SAP Cloud Platform, and it can connect with any HR systems, and it can leverage any machine learning applications from Microsoft or Google, along with SAP Leonardo. With this, I will jump to demo. That was the main part of the sessions today. So let me log in into SAP system. It kicked me out. So right now I'm logging into Employee Central System as my homepage. I can also launch this application from Cloud Portal. I think it kicked me out from there as well. So there are multiple ways you can launch chatbot. One option is you launch this chatbot from your Employee Central homepage. Another option is you can launch this as a messenger or even from Skype. You can also launch this from your Cloud Portal. Yeah. Also, it will work perfectly fine from mobile devices. So many ways of launching the chatbot. So let me show you the first one. So here I logged in, I launched the chatbot. It knows me because I am logging in from CoreHR system. So it knows me. It knows my user. It knows my access, roles, permissions. So it will only allow me to do things which I'm allowed to do in the CoreHR systems. That's the beauty of it. You don't need to worry about the access and security of the chatbot. So here it's aware of me. It's aware of my important events, my important dates. So it's wishing me happy anniversary. Today is not my anniversary, just for demo purpose, we are showing this. Meaning here is it's humanized. Here it's trying to engage with you. It's trying to do some conversation with you. So here it's asking me to, if I want to see the to-do items for today. I say yes. So what it does in the background is it pulls up all the workflows, all the to-do items I'm working on from different HR systems and show it to me here. That these are the important things you have to work on today. And if I click on the link, it will take me to the to-do list of the systems. For example, Employee Central to-do list, it will open up from here. Now here I have logged in as a C user. I am worried about my gender pay ratio. So let me start some questions. So how many employees we have, for example? This is a simple question. Now what I've done here is I have asked a simple question, how many employees we have. This is basically trying to find our headcounts. I can ask this question in many ways. The NLP part of the chatbot is helping system to understand my real intent, what I want to do. I can ask this in many language. I can ask them in many ways, but the system, the NLP, will smartly convert into the right logical intent and comes back with a response which is coming out from Employee Central system. So for example, here it's saying NGHR has 8,000 active employees. Now I can ask, what's the gender pay ratio? So you can access simple KPIs very easily. Otherwise, you have to go to dashboards, you have to drill down on particular reports, or if you are an infrequent user, you might need to ask HR, which will do some reports, and then finally comes back with you on this data in a 2 or 3 days time. Here you can do it very quickly, very easily, in just a matter of seconds by typing it in. You can type it in a different way, as I mentioned. So here it shows me the gender pay ratio of NGHR in different regions. I see this is not good, like we have problems, it's quite less. So I need to create some task for my CHRO so that he can work on this. So here I can create a kind of on-fly objective for my CHRO. So I say create activity. It's asking me whom should I create activity for. So Ramilo is my CHRO, and I want him to work on this objective. it's looking for what details for activity. I say improve gender pay ratio by 10% this fiscal. So I'm kind of creating an objective on fly for my CHRO. Okay, some spelling mistake, but it has been a gender created an activity for my CHRO. Now here I can also do give rewards on fly. So for example, I'm very happy with one of my colleague who has done real good work on machine learning. So I say give a spot bonus. Again, same thing, it will ask me for whom. So I will say Marianne. And asking how much dollars. I say give her 1,000 USD as a bonus. Now this goes again in the scheme of like you are empowering your employees, you are giving them rewards on fly. And very easily you can do it from chatbots. You can also use, of course, your Alexa and Siri if you wish to. And after you do this, it's submitted for the approval. Yep. Now this can also be powerful for searching for skills in the company. So I want to start an operation in Russia, and I'm looking for a person with Russian language skills and a manager. So I will say search for skills. What it is doing is going into the underlying Koja systems, finding out people for me for that particular skill. So I'm saying what skills I'm looking for. So I'm looking for Russian language. I might do some spelling mistakes which chatbot will ignore, and that's the beauty of it because it understands my intent. So I'm looking for a manager. It's looking for which country, which I'm saying anywhere. So what it has done is it has found me the managers with Russian language skills in different locations. Now I can think about these guys as joining my new operations in Russia. Yeah, so very, very powerful tool for the C-levels. You can also see what's the status of compliance training. Here it will pull up all the data from systems and say, okay, this is the status of different groups and how much people have finished their compliance trainings. So you can see very easily the KPIs are available to the C-levels with the latest data to help them to take quick decisions. It also promotes them. It also helps them to promote the culture of continuous feedback, rewards, recognitions, and also helps them for talent search. So I've covered some use cases for the C-levels, for the senior leaders. Now I'll just cover some scenarios for managers. So, for example, I'm a manager and I'm worried about how many employees will join my team next month. So I can quickly ask employees onboarding next month. It will go into HR system and find out who all are going to join us in the next month. So I can plan the onboarding steps for this particular employees. I can also see view basically pending trainings. So show me view pending mandatory trainings. So these are the trainings I need to do. for this particular month. I can also check out on employees on leave next month. Yeah, so if you see what's happening in nutshell is, as a manager, I'm able to plan better. I can see what's happening with my team, who is onboarding, what's the kind of trainings missing. So this will help the managers to plan for their coming days. Yeah. So some use cases for managers. Of course, we can think of much more, many more use cases. For example, they are looking for a skill search. They are looking for a Java developer in Spain. They can type it in. I'm looking for a Java developer in Spain. It will go into the underlying HR system and find it for you. So very, very easy for employees, managers, C-levels to get information available to them using this simple language tool, simple messaging tool. I'll show you a couple of use cases for employees. So for example, if I'm a new joinee and I don't know what to do, so I will say I want to start my onboarding process. Now, this is very powerful because you don't need to worry about putting special people to help new joinees. The system can help them out on different steps they need to do depending on the country, depending on the local processes you have. They can be guided by this chatbot to complete their onboarding process. And it comes up with all the different items for my chatbot. Yeah. So action items. Okay. I've finished my first item. Now it's asking me what second item I need to finish on. I said I've done this as well. I need to complete my SF profile. So we use success factors internally. So I need to finish the profile. So I'll say I've done that as well. Yeah. So that's kind of completes my onboarding process within the system. If I have issues, for example, I can of course talk to HR. But you can see very easily the new employees will be able to complete their onboarding processes. They'll also be able to access important HR processes by simply typing it in. For example, they need to start their performance and goal forms. They can just type it in, and the chatbot will take them to the right application. It will take them to the deep link of the particular application. Yeah, I can also do things about like who's who. For example, I'm new. I don't know who is Ramilo. So very powerful to find out about your colleagues. So it can print out simple information about my colleagues. If I want to know what group they work on, what's their jobs, which location they work on, so you can find who's who with this chatbot. You can check for payslips. If I want to know, I don't know where to go and check my payslips. If I say view pay slip, what system will do here is it will point me to the right application which is used in the company to check my payslip. So if I click on this, it will take me to the particular application which can show me the payslip. Yeah. So the user need not worry about how to navigate in the system to check for their payslip. Yeah. If I have issues for my HR, for example, my certificates, I want to create a ticket. So I can say open a ticket. Here again, system will see I want to create a ticket. I have some issues, and it will point me to the ticketing application I'm using in the enterprise. Yeah. Now, this is also very, as I mentioned, it's humanized. For example, I say I'm not feeling well. Now, this is about the sentiment analysis. So it is able to understand the negative sentiment, which is not feeling well. So it knows that I might need a sick leave. So I say, yes, I want to go for sick leave. And asking me, when do you want to go for sick leave? I said, tomorrow. And what system has done is it's kind of about to post. I will say, yes, this is good. So I was able to do a simple HR transaction from the chatbot. So the chatbot was able to do a simple HR transaction from the interface here. Yeah. So what you ask, finally, what you see here is it is simplifying the work. It's very easy for different roles like C-levels, like managers, like employees, to work 24/7, access to information. It enables change management very easily. It simplifies works, and it keeps the workforce engaged. Yeah, that's the kind of beauty of this particular chatbots. For HR admins as well, there are use cases. For example, you want to see your HR calendar for August. So things like, when are you running your benefit enrollments, when are you running your compliance trainings, when are you running your payroll. So this kind of HR calendar can also be seen very easily by the HR admins. This is all about the internal chatbot, helping the internal employees. The same technology can be used to attract candidates. So you can put the external chatbot on your websites, you can put on your Facebook pages, and it can interact with your candidates. So let me show some examples. So you can, for example, expose this chatbot on your Facebook page. You can also expose this chatbot as a Skype ID, so it can talk over Skype as well. And let me start from Skype, for example. So I say hi. It says, okay, hello, I'm Cherry, your personal assistant. What's your first name and last name? I said my first name is Amit. It's taking some time, but I can show you what happens when you interact with the system. So when you start talking to this chatbot, it can help you out to see different office locations we have, to search for jobs, and if you want to know more about NGL. And if I show my intent as I want to search jobs, it can show you what location and what are the different options for you for these locations. And the best part here is it will ask you to give you a LinkedIn profile, and based on your LinkedIn profile, it will find the right job for you and location for you, and then it will ask where do you want to apply, and depending on location you choose, it will apply the job for you. Yeah, so very, very easy for the candidates to engage with your systems, with your application, with yourself. They can search what jobs are appropriate for them, and they can apply accordingly. Yeah, it can also, again, as I mentioned, it's conversational, so it will try to show you about the different offices we have, what the building looks like, how the team looks like, what kind of things they do. So I think it can be active now. But yeah, that's the kind of process you can do with an external facing chatbot. So very, very powerful to attract candidates 24/7 in multi-region, multi-language. That kind of covers the different use cases I wanted to demo you. If I jump back to my presentation, that was the demo I planned to show. Some thoughts. So language is difficult. It's not easy. Humans also struggle with language. So we should not think that chatbots can address everything in HR systems. Yeah. So we should really worry about the important use cases, what makes sense. That should be done using chatbots. So you should not try to do everything in chatbot. Also, it's very important that the chatbot is humanized and it works in all situations. If it's not humanized, which means it doesn't have empathy, doesn't have compassion, it doesn't work, the humans will stop using it. So it's very, very important that you consider these elements when you design your chatbot. Also, keeping in mind GDPR, PII, security, you should think about the security aspects from the day one. So when you design the chatbot, you should definitely think about security. So things like voice, for example, you don't want Alexa to start talking about your payslip information over voice, because voice by nature is not safe. So depending on the medium of the chatbot, you need to see what scenarios best fit there. Yep. Okay. That's all I wanted to share about chatbots. And with that, I want to open the forum for any questions you have. So, Seen, over to you for the question session.
Yes, thank you, Amit. Yes, let's kick off the questions, the Q&A session. You can send all your questions via the chat box. Amit is there to provide you answers. Melissa is there to provide you answers related to SubCloud platform. We will give you a few minutes time, and I will read them out loud, and our experts will answer them for you when we get them in. I have already a first question. Amit, there is this lady and she asks, how are authorizations considered here? Do I get answers only regarding the employees I am the manager of, or those I am allowed to see? How is data privacy ensured? Can you give a little bit more information about that?
Yes, definitely. So as I mentioned, these chatbots are running on your top of your core HR systems. So it inherits all the security permissions you have configured into your SAP HR system or Employee Central systems. So you will only see information which you are allowed to see based on what is configured in your core HR. So it will not allow you to see information what you're not allowed to say. Yeah, so that's the reason this is very powerful, and SAP CP helps here, because SAP CP understands the security configured in SAP HR and also on Employee Central. So it will help chatbot to respect security configured in the system.
Okay, thank you. So send in all your questions. Another one here. Is the chatbot built into the SubCloud platform, or is it a separate app interacting with SAP? How does it work, Amit or Melissa? Can you please give us some more feedback?
Yeah, so let me talk about it here. So if you see this diagram here, so the chatbot is like an app built on SAP Cloud Platform. Yeah, so this is an app running on SAP Cloud Platform. It's not part of SAP solution by default. It's something NGA has developed, but running on SAP Cloud Platform. Yeah, does that answer the question? Or Melissa, you want to add something here?
No, I don't know. I get more questions, Amit.
Okay, that's fine.
What skills do you need to program a chatbot?
Yeah, so there are different skills required for chatbot. For example, the UX of the chatbot is done in UI5. So what you see is the UI5 screens when I was talking to the internal chatbot. So you need UI5 skills for development of the UX. Then you need the machine learning skills, which we talk about NLP, for example. So we are using Leonardo, we are using Google API, Microsoft Lewis. So understanding the machine learning technologies will be very useful. And then after that, you need to understand the data model of your core HR system, which means what APIs are available from Employee Central, for example, what APIs are available in LMS systems, what APIs are available in SAP on-prem, or you develop yourself from scratch. So it's a kind of a layered solution with loads of different technologies involved. So yeah, 3 to 4 technologies is typically what you need to make chatbot work.
Okay, thank you. I hope this answers the question. If you have more questions or we are not answering them like you wish, let me know. I will readdress them to Amit. More questions are coming in. How can I know the list of services provided by the chatbot?
Yeah, so we have worked on around 50 intents so far. So there are 50 different intents. I mean, different. So, for example, when I ask for my leave balance, that's an intent. When I apply for leave, that's one intent. So we have done research ourselves with our HR department, with also with our BPO agents who get this kind of questions frequently. That what are the most frequently asked questions to HR admins or by the employees or by managers. So we have identified 50 intents. I'm sure it's not sufficient. So we need to do more. That's where we work with you, with your system, your HR admins, on what are the additional intents you want to work on, and then we can add and train the chatbot to work on the additional intents. So we can share with you the 50 intents, what has been done so far, and of course we can work with you for more intents if you wish to.
Okay, thank you. Another one. Does the chat box allow you to clock in and clock out for work?
Yeah, that's also a good intent. We can think of, so far frankly not done yet, but it's a good idea. We can do check in and check out with the chatbot.
Okay. And does some data wait, that's another question. Does some data are sent to Google API.I? Is it secure?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So we are using a private tunnel. So we are only using the Google API or Lewis part for the NLP part of the application, which means understanding the question asked. We don't share the data with these platforms yet, unless we are very sure about where the data will go. Yeah, that's why I mentioned, like, it's very important that you consider security on day one of the design. So far we are not sharing any PII data with external tools and applications. Only the NLP part, only the intent part is what we use these applications for. Yeah, so that's the kind of thing we're doing at the moment.
Okay. And how would the programming process would look like? Who would be involved?
So programming, as I mentioned, you need different skill sets. So that's one part of the development. But before that, we need to sit with your HR and understand what do you want to achieve? What's the most frequently asked questions? What's your workforce like? What kind of intents do you think they will like to see? And we have, of course, our repository of 50 intents, which we can share with you. And then once we are sure about what is that you want to achieve, we can do a proof of concept with your department, with your workforce. And once it's all comfortable, we can start building the additional intent what you wish in your enterprise.
Okay. More questions, a lot of questions. It's apparently a hot topic that everyone wants to know more about. Could you speak about SAP Leonardo? How do chatbots help in core applications?
So SAP Leonardo is the machine learning platform from SAP that has some machine learning capabilities about NLP, for example. So that's what we can use. Melissa, if you want to add certain points, let me know. So we are using the machine learning part from SAP Leonardo, the NLP part from SAP Leonardo.
Okay. And the SAP Cloud platform is licensed with a number of connections. How SAP license how SAP license the use of SAP Cloud platform for this use? I think she means how does SAP license the use of SAP Cloud platform for this use? So how does the licensing process work? And
so as you can see here, you can run this chatbot on your own instance of cloud platform. So if you have your own instance, that's where you have different packages which you buy from SAP. I'm not the best expert there, maybe Melissa can jump in there. Also, if you don't want to use SAP's cloud platform directly, you don't have that the instance, there's an option where you can leverage NJ's ePass contract with SAP, which means you don't need to buy anything from SAP. NJ will do it for you. So there are different commercial models. I think that kind of discussion, yeah, needs some detailed discussion with what is your intent and what is your current situation. So this is the different commercial models. Melissa, you want to add something on the commercials of CP?
Yeah, no, I think you covered it fairly well. It really depends on how you intend to use the platform. If it's going to be a little bit more broader than just the use of, this particular app, for example, then you could work with SAP to license the platform. You can, run multiple apps. But if it's, just one, then you would work directly with the partner, in this case, NGHR, to license through them.
Okay, thanks. I have 4 questions. Remaining questions, I want to finalize them so that everyone gets an answer. Is it possible to use fingerprint verification on your mobile to have a further authorization, for example, for access to salary information?
Yeah, it is possible. We have not done so far, frankly, but definitely we can work with you and understand your requirements, and this should be possible.
Okay, and what about spelling mistakes? How are spelling mistakes considered?
So
if you
as I
type a spelling
mentioned,
mistake.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry,
So
go ahead.
Yeah. So generally, the NLP engine kind of is okay with the spelling mistake. It doesn't want to correct you. It understands your intent. For example, if I spell leave balance wrongly, it will still understand I'm asking something about leave balance. So definitely helps because, yeah, you might do spelling mistakes. Also, we are looking for an option to do auto correction. That's not done yet, but when you start typing, you can think of auto correction as you see in Google. When you start typing in, it kind of helps you to auto correct. That's a bit annoying, frankly, for some people. That's why we are avoiding it at the moment. But yeah, we are also looking into that option. But in general, NLP ignores small spelling mistakes.
Okay. And is it supported in many languages? Does it talk to finance, expense, and CRM systems?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, it can talk to any HR systems, any non-HR systems as well, in cloud or on-prem. For example, you might have a scenario where you have some information in finance or in your expense system or in your Salesforce system or CRM systems. Definitely, it can connect with the respective systems.
Okay. To almost close, we have a really fun question. If I'm at the phone, I have to repeat again and again until the machine finally understands what I'm saying. And I'm totally aggressive. Is this the same with the chat?
Not really. I think I should show that demo part to it. I hope it's still working. So, for example, when the chatbot appreciates that you are not he's not able to answer. So let me see if it's still connected. So I will say, for example, this is not helping. Yeah. So it understands that chatbot is not able to help. And if you see what it has said, I'm sorry for this experience. Do you want me to forward this transcript to the actual human who will get back to you? So that's very important. We should not overpromise. Chatbot cannot do 100% of things. It can do only few things, which is of high frequency in nature. Yeah. So don't plan chatbot to resolve all your HR queries. There are use cases it can work. There are use cases it cannot work. And when it cannot work, there should be a mechanism to hand over the issue or the challenge to the proper human agent. So this is where you can do a soft handover of issues to a proper human. As we mentioned, that humans and the chatbot has to work together. This is what you see, how we can make them work together. Yeah, the chatbot can handle things, it will handle. If it cannot handle, it will do a nice handover to a human.
Okay.
So send this across to the agent, it will send across.
Finally, and let's close the session then, because we get a lot of questions. Do you have a live customer?
We don't have live customer. Right now we're working with a big bank with 80,000 employees. So they are working with us. Hopefully we'll go live in Jan this next year. So yeah, right now we don't have a live client, but yeah, definitely soon we'll have a live client.
All right. Thank you so much, Amit and Melissa. I believe most of the questions are answered now. So I want to thank you both for presenting to us, and I want to thank all the participants of today for attending our webinar. You will receive the slides and recording within the next 4 working days. I would also advise you, Amit, maybe drive the slides a little bit further. Yeah. If you're looking for information about digital, about automation, about these kind of topics, don't hesitate to visit our resources center. There is a lot of content on our resources center that can support you in your digital journey. Also visit the website. If you have more questions, you can, next slide, you can or contact us via the contact form on the website or via Anna Scott, or you can contact Amit or Melissa and you can direct your questions immediately to them. I don't see any more questions, so I would like to close this webinar on behalf of NGA and our presenters. Thank you for joining us today. I hope to see you all back. Have a great rest of the day, and this webinar is now concluded.